Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So let us begin our session with a wonderful quote. Communication is the bridge that illuminates the power of our thought, connecting minds and shaping world. Good evening everyone. I Nitika Chauhan, your host for today's international webinar on the topic Communication and Power of Thoughts. Extend my warm greetings and a very good evening to all of you present. Communication serves as the vessel through which the power of our thoughts is shared, influencing perceptions and shaping reality. In the exchange of ideas, thoughts become catalysts for understanding, transformation, and the manifestation of collective vision. Talking about SEMS Welfare Foundation, we are a Section 8 not-for-profit company registered under the Companies Act 2013 with various recognitions from Niti Aayog, MSME, MCON, DDU, GKY, and more. Recognized as a startup by DIPP and MCI and awarded the Best Service Award for National Contribution. SEMS Group, with an active network of 5,000 plus professionals, published books, and an international journal, organized education and health camps for underprivileged children, promoted digital and financial literacy, and contributed to society. Our initiative, Digi Saksham, has developed content for 300 plus IT, BFSI, retail, and entrepreneurship courses impacting diverse age. We have executed a skilling project for 600 inmates, signed MOUs for training, collaborated with various organizations, and conducted international conferences. FEM Leads, another SEMS initiative, empowers women through workshops and newsletters, conducting awareness programs in digital literacy, marketing, and career development across different industries. We have impacted over 1,000 women across states and recently celebrated a milestone of 100 women associated with the program. On behalf of the whole SEMS family, I welcome you all for today's international webinar on communication and the power of thoughts. To add to our guest of honor, today's speaker, Mr. Dinesh Garg, it is an honor to have you with us, sir. We are grateful for your presence here with us today. Lieutenant Colonel Dinesh Garg is a veteran who served in the army for 15 years. He is pursuing his passion for traveling now. His interests cover a wide spectrum. As a freelancer who is following his passion, he is a life, leadership, business, and relationship coach, mentor, and a motivational speaker. He is a counselor in both personal and professional issues.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, everyone. And first of all, there are no ground rules. You can please unmute yourself. I'm not giving you a WhatsApp Gyan University or anything. Anytime, whenever you feel like asking a question, please ask that. Doesn't matter. Let's not make it a boring session. And neither I'm going to talk about theories. Okay, what kind of communications are there, aggressive, passive, because day-to-day life, these things doesn't matter and we don't even think. So whatever we are going to talk today, it's 100% absolute practical things which I have done myself. So I will not say anything which I have not done myself in my life. Not even a single line you will find like this. So yeah, but just one odd thing, being a Haryana, I'm a bit more aggressive. So that is the one thing which I always tell people to be more subtle. That's the only thing. I always say that thought, we think it's just a small thing, but we forget that this is everything. Whatever we are today, whatever, I'm an army officer, say Abdul Kalam Sahab or anyone, they are there because of their thought process. Okay, sorry. So it is because of the thought process, and it is the most important thing. And we don't even realize how our thought process is created. I'll give you one example. How many of you have read Reader Digest? Anyone? No. Okay. So when I say CIA, what is the first thing comes to your mind? CIA, American Intelligence.
Yes, sir.
So what's the first thing comes to your mind? Yeah, Dr. Sanjay or Kapil, I can't hear actually.
Sir, is a topmost intelligence agency of the UK base.
Yeah, and they save the world. Every time they save the world.
Yes.
And whenever we hear of KGB, so what the first picture comes to our mind when we hear KGB, Russian intelligence?
Yes, sir. True, sir.
So KGB is always try to destroy the world, and CIA is always try to save the world. So how this came to us? So in 70s and 80s during Cold War, what Reader Digest did, so they published stories, very subtle stories. There was nothing direct, indirect hints. So in every story, KGB was a villain and CIA always used to come and rescue us. So from that time, even today, after 50 years, 60 years, still whenever KGB comes, we don't even know anything about KGB, but they are villain for us. That's how they change our basic psyche. That's how what we read, what we see is important. Even when I ask people which newspaper you read or which channel you see, I can actually tell them, tell you about that person. Okay, what is the thinking of that person? That is how we subtly get brainwashed. And this is how the thought process is important, what we think in our day-to-day life. So I'll give you a small exercise. Okay, so everyone just close your eyes for 30 seconds and see the face of your mother. See the face of your mother. उनकी छुर्रियां, उनकी खूबसूरती, उनकी जो ममता है, just 30-40 second के लिए. Yeah, Nitika, what you felt?
I felt good, sir, remembering my mother because I have not talked to her today. I will be talking in the evening.
See, 30 seconds back, we were talking about something else. We were talking about 100,000 things. But the basic connection we forgot. We just don't think about those things. Those things we think we take it for granted. So once we enter our home, so if you see some people when enter the home, they don't clean their feet and they just enter inside. It's very small thing. Once we use someone else's washroom, we don't clean it after taking a bath. It's not habit. It is the thought process. We think it's not important, but we tend to forget. Even we, if you want to go to moon, the first thing is thought. I want to go to moon. Only then you can reach moon. If you will not think you can go to moon, you cannot reach the moon. I'll give you one more example. In weapons, so from last 70, 80 years, if you see weapons, basic weapon system is same. The technology is there, but you have to pull a trigger. The bullet will fire and it will go out. Why? Because people are not able to think of new weapon. The moment we will think of new weapons, they will create it, but we are not thinking on those lines. End of the day, we end up creating those weapons only. I'll tell you one thing about thought, how thought is important in army. So in army, when we give orders, so our order is in one line. The aim is in one line, and it is always like this throughout army. It is always like this. Alpha company will win this post, capture this post by so and so hours. That's it. There is no ambiguity. No one is going to say, if I get 1000 manpower plus artillery, then I can only capture post so and so by so and so time. No, there is no ambiguity at all. So people sometimes tells me, ki, yaar, you guys are overconfident. I tell them, you should be happy that your forge is confident, because we don't go war without an iota of a doubt. And from where it comes? It comes from our mind. It is nowhere it is related to anything else. Resources, no, sorry. Even if I give you all the resources of the world, even then you may lose war if unless your morale is high. End of the day, it is your morale. And what is morale? Is thoughts. So that is that important in army. So while we were training, so we did a 40 kilometers route march. And when we came back, so we were carrying a rucksack and a weapon and all. So our company commander told us, ki, okay, climb this wall. So we said, ki, sir, rope, sorry. So we said, sir, it's impossible. We are like dead. He said, ki, no, you have to do it. So he said, ki, okay, you leave the bag, but carry your weapon. Mark my words, we did that also. The moment we thought we were dead, we did the rope, which is not even easy when you're fresh. So in army, they don't teach us physical things. You can always do it. It is more of a mental training. It is more of your thought processes. And when we read a book, what happens when we read Karthik, when we read a book or when we watch a movie, what happens then? What happens when we read or when we watch a movie? What happens?
We feel like that sometimes.
Yeah, you are part of that. When you watch a fictional movie, you forget that you have a family, you have a job or anything. You actually become part of that. You become part of that magic world. Why is it so? Why?
Because the direction of the...
Because our mind cannot differentiate between fiction and reality. Whatever we see, we believe in that and we become part of that. That's why we should always talk positive in our life. The moment we start talking negative, you will think negative, you will find negativity in everything, because our mind doesn't know the difference, because you are making stories in your own mind. So have you seen people? So if we see in our family also, there is always one person, maybe the older person or someone, who always who makes stories कि उसने ऐसा कर दिया होगा, उसने मुझे नहीं शादियां बुलाया तो उसके 50 रीजन होंगे. Why? Because please Kapil.
Sir, I think this Dr. Sanjay raised his hand.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, please Sanjay. Hello, Dr. Sanjay.
Dr. Sanjay, if you raise your hand, can you unmute yourself and answer what you want to ask something?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to ask, but that was pertaining to CIA and KGB actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was, I think that's over now. So next time, whenever I have, I'll raise my hands.
Maybe you can please ask. Doesn't matter. You please
No,
ask.
you
Doesn't
were
matter.
talking about CIA and KGB, and you said that KGB has a very negative image, and of course, CIA has a very positive image. These are basically perceptions which have been created, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
yeah. So these perceptions also, are the basis of a communication at times.
Yes. Actually, yes. It is a part of that.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to tell you. Most of the things which we come to know, or even in today's politics, also what we come to know are basically perceptions which are just put in the minds of the people.
That's why there is a perception warfare also. So if you see the Russian-Ukraine war, the
Yeah.
entire war is basically a perception. Or
Yes,
even in
exactly.
Israel war also, if you see this is a warfare of perception.
Perception, exactly.
Basically, those people who even see those people who make all those things, even when we go to a mall and when we buy a thing, so everything
Mhm.
which is put on shelf, even the colors which they use, everything has a psychology behind it. We
Yeah,
think it's a normal thing. Nothing is normal. Whatever
exactly.
we think, it is actually it's not our thought process. We don't even know that our thought process is actually given by someone else, social media and everything.
Exactly. It is basically, I would not take much of your time. Even the entire marketing process of today is perception
Exactly.
based,
Yes,
because
exactly.
we go with a particular perception. In fact, let me tell you, one of my students, she was in PhD, my scholar. She was from Delhi University, and it was a marketing based, thesis which she was writing, and she mentioned all the factors which a urban customer looks when a customer goes to buy a particular product,
Yeah.
right? But
Yes.
she forgot one important thing, and that was brand. And the vice chancellor was sitting over there, and he said that she has not mentioned brand anywhere, and it is the single most important thing which really guides us to buy a product. Perception. We go
And
with
that's
a
why they
particular
have this
perception that I am
small
going to
logos.
buy.
That's they make small logos and all. They don't give the name, just small logos, or just you'll just
And
pass
we
through
whenever
the.
we Yeah, yes, sir. Whenever we go to buy a particular product, it is basically perception. We've already decided this is the
Yes,
brand I'm going to go. We look at other
yes,
things, but we have already decided.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
That's true.
Right, sir. So I'll be disturbing you off and on. Don't worry about that.
Please. That's the fun, no? Because whatever I'll say, you will find it on WhatsApp also. Don't worry about that.
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
So
Right, sir.
let's
Okay,
make
right,
it
right, sir.
interactive.
Right, sir. We'll do that, sir.
Yeah. So whatever we hear, whatever we think, it becomes part of us. So for example, I never talk negative. Never say no to anything. Never. And because of this, I have done so many things in my life which are, if you ask normal people, they will say, no, not possible. It's not possible. For example, I have stopped a train at a station where it is not the station, not by pulling the chain, by telling the TTE. So, and it has two things. One, as I said, keep mind. I know everything is possible. Yes. So I didn't tell myself, okay, it's not possible. Secondly, communicate. How you communicate these things to the TTE. If you go and tell TTE, please stop the train, will he do it? No, he will not do it. You have to talk it from your heart. There should be some reason for that, and you have to convince him. That's what here the communication comes where how you communicate with people, how you should make them what do you want to do. So Krishna, hello, I can see one Mr. Krishna Kumar. Okay, then B Subhash, I think they can't hear me. Yeah, Krishna, you can please talk.
Kumar, can you unmute yourself and speak something? Sir is asking. And B Subhas, please unmute yourself and sir is interacting with you.
I can't hear him. Okay, leave it. I think he's not able to hear us. Maybe. Acha, हाँ, okay. He has a problem in unmute mic. Okay, so thought process actually टूट गया. So okay. So let's talk about communication now. Karthik, what is communication for you?
Talking with others,
Yeah, but even if I talk gibberish to others, will it be a communication?
but in good manners. We need to talk. We need to talk in good manner.
Yeah, but that is one part of communication. What is the entire aim of communication? Basic aim of communication. We'll just keep it simple. It's not a theory. I want to say a thing to you.
May I say?
Yeah, please.
Communication, basically, we are express our thoughts so people can understand very well manner, which we can describe in our word, basically.
Yes, that second part is more important because I can always convey my thought to anyone in any language or in any way. Question is the other person.
Other person to be understand what
Is he
we
able
are.
to understand or not? Yes. If he is able to understand, yes, you have communicated it properly. If the other person is not able to understand, it means you have not conveyed it properly. And to check this, that's why in army we always check back. So whenever we give a order, so we'll always ask of Bhop Singh, the one we know ki, okay, he is the least, he is the guy who will not understand well. So we'll check back from him कि okay, Bhop Singh, आदेश को रिपीट करो. उसको ये नहीं पूछना कि समझ आ गया क्या नहीं आ गया, रिपीट करो. जब वो रिपीट करता है तो आपको समझ में आ जाता है कि इसको समझ में आ गया तो सबको समझ में आ गया है. तो इसलिए हमेशा चेकबैक हमेशा कर लेना चाहिए कम्युनिकेशन के अंदर. और नितिका, व्हाट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट इन कम्युनिकेशन?
Sir, in my opinion, in communication, you need to listen to others as well. You
Okay.
just do not need to speak. You need to hear them also.
So you're
What are
talking
they
about
speaking?
active listening basically now.
Yes, sir.
So what all things are in active listening?
So basically, if a person is talking to me, I will hear what he or she is saying in a precise manner and try to understand what they're trying to convey. And in doing so, I will also try to understand what they are saying through their non-verbal communication as well. How are the expression, and if they're sad or they're happy, and if the words are matching their overall expressions or not.
Okay, in a way, yes. So
So
when
can
we
I
listen,
intervene?
yeah, please, Dr. Sanjay.
Yeah, in fact, what she was referring was it has to be a two-way process, right? Not like we normally have that a person comes, he lectures, he speaks, and he goes away. And like you have said, that communication is a device through which we share our thoughts, we try to share our emotions and our feelings, and the other person, the receptor, should be able to understand. And that we can find out by his face also. If
Yes.
he has understood, his face will show that he has understood. If he has not understood, there'll be a question mark on his face. A
That's why-
perplexed or a confused look will be there on the face.
Yes. That's why 70% of the communication is, if we see, it's non-verbal actually.
Exactly.
And people generally miss that part.
Right. So
So sometimes when your friend is hurt, and when you ask them ki all well, so the word will be yes, I am okay, I am good. But the expression and the tonality of the word language is also very much important. So by the
Right, sir.
tone and by the face expression, we can come to know ki, okay, no, that person is not actually well.
Sir, it is like I would just intervene. You know, all well you have said, and you have made me remind that in before coming to academics, I was in an industry, and a boss used to come in the morning and he used to greet us. He used to say all well, or he used to say all well, all in the well.
Yeah, understood.
So that is how either it is all well or it's all in the well.
All in there. Exactly.
Right.
And so I must admit today, though the our topic is communication, but actually I am not prepared at all, and I'm not happy about it. It's because of my traveling. As Nitika said, that traveling is my passion. I don't give a 2-day break also to myself in traveling. So because of that, I'm continuously moving, and was not able to prepare at all. I thought I'll be able to do that, but especially in train. But there was 30 kids, so they didn't let me sleep also in train. So yes, so please be with me in that sense. I'll be haphazard. I'll go up, then I'll come down. So basically, a start. I wanted to do the start with the. I always say one thing, that I'm not here to teach you guys anything, or any coach. Any coach cannot teach you anything, frankly speaking. They are there to poke you. That's it. Because unless you want to learn yourself, you want to change yourself, no one is going to do that. From last 30, 40 years, your parents, society, no one is able to change you. Do you think our 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hour session will change you? No, sorry, it will not. Unless we poke you, and yes, you think, yes, maybe this is the one direction I should go. And I always give the example of Hanumanji. When Jamvan poked him, only then he was able to achieve good heights. And which also shows Hanumanji, when he believed in himself, that's how he was able to do it. Again, it shows the power of your thoughts. that you believe in yourself also. That also is the part of that.
So I would like to intervene.
Yeah,
I would
please.
like to say that in a subject like communication, basically, not much preparation is required. Actually, your experience would be the best preparation. And let me ask you something, sir. I was told that you were from army.
Yeah.
How many years?
So I served for 15 years.
15 years. So I don't know. Your face doesn't look like that. You look much younger actually.
I'm 42.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Just wanted to tell you that only. So you have left the army now.
Yeah, it's been 3 years now.
Oh, right, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
So I'll give you one example. So one good thing about communication is, so once we communicate, we should not take the role of a dictator कि मैंने ये बोलना है और आपने ये सुनना है, that's it, because these kind of communication doesn't generally get the results. Even in army also, you have to make other people understand why you are saying a particular thing to them, or why you are telling them to do a particular thing. Otherwise they will not accept that, especially the new generation. पापा ने बोल दिया कि आपको ये करना है और आपको करना नहीं. Sorry, this generation is not be like that. You have to tell them why they are doing it. I'll give you one small example. So in army, so I was on a post. So there was a guy who was responsible for the generator, and he was not able to take care of that, and because of that, generator broke down. Now what happened? We need 6 people to take the generator to the base, which again takes almost 10 to 12 hours. And again, you need 6 to 8 people to take it back. Plus, then it will be there for 2-3 days, depends on the workshop load, how much time they will take to repair it and all. So I called that guy and I told him ki, why didn't you take care of this time? This was your responsibility. He said, Saab, थोड़ा सी तो कमी हुई है, अगली बार नहीं होगी. So he was not able to understand what was the issue. So I called everyone and I told them, see, this is not a small thing. For one person's mistake, 8 people went down, because 6 people went down. Because of that, there were no people on the post. Because of that, everybody has to give double or triple shift. And because of because there is no electricity, there are no radio set. So if say an enemy attacks us, we have no way to communicate further. How will we communicate to them? No one is going to come for our help. Then they understood this ki yes, how important it was, and from there on, everyone, they did their duty well. So why I'm saying communication is important? I would have given them left and right. I would have abused that guy, anything. I would have given him punishment also. That's okay. But message, क्या message जाता across? नहीं. But now when everyone knew why it is important, everyone did their duty well for everything. So that's why so when you tell your kid to do something, you have to give some reason to that also. Or whenever you tell your employees to do something, give some reason to them. Okay, why we are doing it. Let them be part of some bigger thing, no? Because you know the big picture, no? No one knows the big picture. Sometimes give big picture to them also. So Kapil, what's next in communication? Sorry, you have to unmute actually. Again, I can't hear you.
Sir, I was on the call, so I.
Acha. Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
Sujata is there. Hello, Sujata. Engineer Deepak Tiwari, Yashika. Can they hear me actually?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think no one can hear me.
Sir, can you repeat your question, please?
So
yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So what else is again important in communication? In day-to-day life.
Day-to-day life communication is important. Body language is also more important nowadays.
Yes.
It
was always important.
Yes, sir.
So can I intervene?
Yeah, please. I was waiting for you.
Yeah, so the types of communication we have, mostly all the formal communication is through written communication. But then, of course, we have a lot of informal communications, like you said earlier also,
okay,
which are in the form of, like sir said, body language. We call it gestural actually,
yes,
or oral communication. That is what is occurring. Oral communication, or by a body language, our gestures and all. Written communication is very, very formal kind of a thing.
So I want to ask Karthik, have you been on a dating on any date? No. Okay. So
okay, Karthik, I am inviting you.
So one thing I have noted nowadays is when people talk, they don't ask open-ended questions. Okay, how are you? I'm good. How's kid? Okay. You don't give space to communicate further. Always try to keep the question open-ended. Let it flow naturally because otherwise it becomes an interview otherwise. We don't communicate at all. And one thing I have seen in communication is, say, for example, I want Karthik to meet me in the evening. So I'll ask Karthik, can you please meet me in the evening at 5? Karthik will say, no, sorry, I'll be busy. And that's it. It's finished. That is not communication. You have to go further. Okay, if you're not free at 5, so what time you can be free? Okay, can we meet tomorrow? Because if you actually want a person and that person says no, then you're finishing the communication then and there only. How things will go ahead? No, it will not. You have to ask. You have to give options, further options. And this is for, I'm telling you, this small thing is applicable at most of the places in our life. हमें समझ में भी नहीं
Very
आता, हम
true.
कहते हैं ये खत्म हो गया. Why?
Yes, it's very true actually. Not many in place. For example, I am a HR here. So
Okay.
for HR, it's very important. Like you cannot say any closed-ended question. You are supposed to ask more of open-ended one.
Exactly.
And like even if the receiver side, even if the respondent is saying yes, you're supposed to ask them more so that they open up. So that's how we usually take up an interview. So this also should happen the same way.
And in
So
communication, one more
normally,
thing is,
the communication should always have space for further communication actually, so that we can really come to a meaningful conclusion. Like you said, that if I ask a closed-ended question and of course the person says in negative or whatever, the matter ends over there. There should be
yeah, then there is no
a window
communication actually.
open so that the communication can extend also.
Yeah. And one more thing in communication is more important is we should know whom we are talking to. Sometimes we forget that, okay, whom we are talking to. For example, say if I am talking with the army officer and we are talking about something and I start, so okay, I'm taking a session of say NDA cadets and I start explaining them about what is recce. Okay, we went for a recce. Then I start explaining them. No, because I know they knows that lingo. So I should understand also. And sometimes what we do is sometimes we under explain and sometimes we over explain. That's where it comes handy to know the other person. For example, as a HR, if I talk to her and I'll start explaining everything to her, it will be like very odd. She said, yeah, I know yeah, what it means. But if she, say, for example, she is not from HR and I talk to her like this, okay, I start using HR jargons, then she will not be able to understand. So I should know, okay, she is not from HR background. So everything I have to make it simple and easy for her to understand. For example, I'll tell you CRPF, ITBP and all. That's why whenever we write a piece of paper, we always keep that main word and abbreviation. After that, we use the abbreviation throughout. But in the first line, we always expand that abbreviation. For example, if I say BSF, Border Security Force / BSF is one of the largest organization, then BSF has 1,000 men and all. But if I started with BSF, you will ask me what is BSF. So we should also know the person with whom we are talking to, at what level we have to make them understand things. And always remember, whenever we talk to people, always talk like they're Bhoop Singh. When I say Bhoop Singh, that they don't know anything. Back of the mind, because we do it as day-to-day life. For example, a doctor, he does it every day. For him, technical jargons are day-to-day life. But as a common man, we don't understand. So a good doctor, he should tell us in our language. कि ओके तुम्हें बुखार है, ये बीमारी है, ये सिम्टम होंगे, ये सब चीजें होंगी. इमेजिन इफ यू स्टार्ट राइटिंग, आज तक हमें वो नहीं समझ में आया, वो RX, वो BD, AD. यू कैन जस्ट टेल अस कि यार एक सुबह लेनी है, एक शाम को लेनी है. सो ऑलवेज टॉक टू अदर्स एज इफ दे डोंट नो एनीथिंग व्हेन वी हैव टू एक्सप्लेन देम anything. And whenever we talk to people about our topic, so always start with the background, because that person doesn't know the background. So for example, a couple tells me, or our company does this, our company does that. I'll listen to everything, but I will not be able to understand anything till the time I don't know what that company or NGO is all about. So you should always start with the background. That is more important, so that other person is there. Then always there is an introduction part, then there is a pros and cons, or in that sense. If we do it in a haphazard manner, it is very difficult to communicate our thought process. So thought process is not only talking, thought process is when we write. So when we write a mail to our seniors also, that is also a communication. So in mails and all also try to not to be verbose. We tend to write big things for a small one line. We tend to write one paragraphs. It's of no use. And we should all never use the languages like Shashi Tharoor use. What is the point of that communication that I have to keep a dictionary with me? No, that is for literature, not for communication. For communication, keep it simple. You don't have to be verbose. You don't have to be use big jargons for that to impress others. No, you need not to. And to communicate, you can use any language. It can be, for example, a share. A share, 2 lines of share can convey 1,000 pages also. So, for example, when I say कि वो समझते हैं कि मैं टूट के बिखर जाऊंगा, मुझे यकीन है कि मैं और भी निखर जाऊंगा। अब ये 2 लाइन और मैं 1 घंटे का मोटिवेशन लेक्चर दे तो वो दोनों बराबर है। सो कम्युनिकेशन में ना डोंट बाइंड योरसेल्फ कि ये ऐसा ही होता है। No, you have to create your own way because you have to communicate. Until unless your company doesn't fire you, try to communicate in your own way. Don't copy others because everyone has their own way to communicate. So, Dr. Sanjay, what else is important in
So,
communication?
just like to add, sir, you said
Yeah,
that we
please.
have to be not, that what you call detailed conversation. Today's generation, what I personally feel, जिसको हम Gen Z कहते हैं आजकल,
Yeah.
today's generation, they're very brief in their communication. Even when they're writing messages, they're very brief and they try to use all kind of abbreviations, not
Yes.
standard ones also.
Yes.
So they are following that actually.
But see that every generation thinks ki they have their own way of communication. There is nothing in right and wrong in that actually, because this generation understand this communication and they can communicate well in this language. If they can understand it well, why not? But yes, they have to cater for people like us also who doesn't understand IK and all those words. They have to make us understand also. And you'll be surprised to know in army, the first thing they teach us is abbreviations. There is a proper class and subject to use abbreviations. And mark my words, when an officer doesn't use those abbreviations, he is considered as illiterate. We are supposed to write those abbreviations. And there is a proper book, Appendix A, Appendix B, Appendix C for that. Because in war, we cannot write big words. We have to keep the communication in a short. So, for example, Reiki. So we cannot write reconnaissance and all for that long. So language, it always grow. It always evolve basically. So new generation, they have their own language. That's there. I don't see anything right and wrong in that, but yeah, it is there. हाँ, भाषा की खूबसूरती नहीं होगी उसमें. There will be no beauty. But yes, it has their own way of communication.
So I would like to add that there are abbreviations which are standard abbreviations, which everybody should know and everybody knows actually. Then of course, the today's generation, they are using a lot of non-standard abbreviations also.
In fact, I must say that growing is also a part of communication. Because if we'll not grow, we'll say, no, we'll not learn this language. We will not able to talk to youngsters. For example, HR, she has to talk to all the youngsters every day. She has to update her lingo कि आजकल के बच्चों को क्या समझ में आता है. और आपको एक चीज बताऊं, मैं कम्युनिकेशन को ना सामने वाले को समझाना कि वो कैसे समझे सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. अदरवाइज आप उसे कितना भी समझाते रहें, उससे वो समझ नहीं आएगा. मैं आपको छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूं. एक एनडीए कैडेट को अगर आप कहें कि आईएएस एग्जाम बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है, आप उसे कितना मर्जी समझाने की कोशिश कर लें कि वो दुनिया का सबसे टफेस्ट एग्जाम है, उसमें इतना पढ़ाई करनी पड़ती है, उससे वो चीज नहीं समझ में आएगी. Now we have to come down to their level. So communication is always to come down at their level. So I always tell them, 1 मिनट में क्रीम रोल होता है when you roll forward and back. So this is called cream roll. So if I tell them कि IAS exam is as difficult as doing 100 cream rolls in 1 minute, then suddenly they're like, oh, इतना difficult होता है. मैंने कहा yes, इतना difficult. So communication में sometimes you have to come down to other person's level to make them understand also.
So I was in fact surprised when you were talking about HR. My son, he told me one day, sir, if I join a new organization,
okay,
the company will BGV will be checked. And I asked him what is BGV,
okay,
and then he told me background verification.
Yeah. We have to learn these things. Things. So yeah, Karthik, what next? I'll use you today, because I'm not prepared. So I'll use you today. So you can't sleep today. Yeah, what next? Tell me what is important.
No.
Sometimes, Okay, have you ever experienced this when you go to your boss and you say ki sir, can we do like this? So he'll say ki हाँ, do it. Sometimes your answer or solution is always in the way you ask the question. If you say कि सर ये ना हम ऐसे कर लेते हैं, उसमें ना इशू होगा, वो कहेंगे हाँ हाँ कर लो. बट इफ विल आस्क हिम कि सर ऐसे करें या वैसे करें या वैसे करें, यू आर एक्चुअली कंफ्यूजिंग द अदर पर्सन ऑल्सो. सो इफ यू हैव टू ask, if you say you have to take a leave, please go and say कि sir I am going on leave for the so and so date. If you उसमें आपके यस और नो जो है ना आपके आंसर में ही छुपा होता है बहुत बार. एनी एग्जांपल यू हैव फेस्ड इन योर लाइफ, कार्तिक? Real life example where the solution is actually in your question only. Kapil, for you?
Yes, sir, I have.
Give me one example.
I was also from Navy, sir, as a Marcos.
Acha, okay. Oh, very nice.
Thank you, sir. So when I was deployed for 15 hours in JNK, so we supposed to get the Android tree because you are from army. That's why I'm disclosing this kind of thing.
Understood.
Right, sir. So
by the way, Kapil, I'll just give me just 2 seconds. I must tell you, Marcos. There are only 2 people in Navy whom I actually respect from my heart. One is Marcos and one is submariners. Marcos are one of the finest forces in the world. जनरली उनका नाम जनरली आपको कम ही सुनाई देता है मार्कोस का. जनरली इंडिया में पैरा कमांडोज का नाम आप जनरली सुनोगे, एनएसजी का. But Marcos are actually one of the finest forces in the world, actually. Please. But it's a fact. It's a fact, actually.
I know, we know, sir, already. That's why
people doesn't know that, actually.
Sir, so because we are going to deploy by on Monday, so we have 2 days. So I asked the boss, can I take the Android leave through my hometown? He says it's a wrong way. 1 minute. Can you mute Hitesh Kumar? So, sorry.
Yeah.
So my boss is asking me, what you are asking? Sir, I am asking any illegal things which you are not going to permit, but still I want to go. Then he say, I don't know. So it's a hidden direction basically.
So it happens. And Lakshmi, what about you? In HR, every day you must be coming through all those things, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, very
Please give me
true
one
it is.
example where the solution is in the question only.
Yeah, many times it has happened, especially recently I'm thinking of one place actually. Please give me your time, I'll think and I'll you. Karthik.
Pardon?
Nothing, sir. No, I am thinking
Achha,
actually. Karthik wanted to say something,
Yeah, please,
so I was
Karthik.
asking
Yeah.
her.
During my college, I never take permission, sir. I directly take leave. If I went to take the permission to my HOD or my principal, they will ask the reason and the copy of the reason, and that's why I directly take leave.
That's that. Achha,
So can I intervene, sir?
Yeah, please.
That's actually.
Yeah, you were saying that the answer is in your question or in your communication only.
Solutions,
and I think in many organizations they have these exit interviews.
Okay.
Right? When a
Correct.
person wants to leave and go, they have these good organizations. They have these exit interviews. The idea of having the exit interviews is just to find out the cause of why a person is trying to leave, and the solution is that if there is some other reason or some other thing for which you are leaving, then the solution is do not leave.
So
Yeah,
yes,
fine.
please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Please
Sanjay.
continue.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Please, ma'am. You can continue now.
So actually, sir, the same thing is true even with performance appraisal also.
Okay.
Where we are doing a SWOT analysis, right? Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So there also the answer is within us. Whether we want to accept it or not, it lies within us.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and there is a quote I read somewhere that constant talking is not communication. So sometimes people think talking for half an hour, 1 hour, and taking meetings and all, and they have communicated well. No, it is not. Same thing you can see in one para also, but people take 2 hours actually to convey. So don't think.
So you have to be very brief and precise, at least
Exactly.
in formal communications.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Brevity and clarity is very important.
Yeah, and another thing is at times keeping mum or keeping silence is also communication.
Yeah, that is the most important thing actually. So for example, when say my friends fathers passed away, so I just sat with him. I didn't speak a single word. I just sat with him. Sometimes that not speaking also is best way of communication actually. Communication is anything. I can't see any video actually here now. I'm not very clued up with this. Yeah, can you guys are there now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I can see the Karthik. Yeah, Karthik, what next? So gender also plays a role in communication. We generally overlook that. Anyone who is not with me on this, please raise your hand. That gender also plays a role in communication. Anyone? So everyone is with me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So whenever we communicate, we have to also understand with whom we are talking to. So when we talk to our friends or men, it's easy. We can use few words and still we can explain whatever we feel. But if we are talking to, say, a female, she needs more information to grasp the thing. And when she expresses, she want to explain in she wants to communicate in a better way, in a broader perspective. So for example, when girls talks to me, मैं कहता यार एक लाइन में बता दो ना यार क्या बताना है तो लेकिन वो that's a wrong part on my behalf. It is not like that. So I always say whenever someone tells you कि okay please listen to me, then you can if try to listen to them. If you're not able to, being a man, we are hardwired to give answers, solution dena. Being a man, it's very difficult for us to just listen because we are meant like this. So I always tell men either you do just listen or at least you ask the other person you want me to listen or you want me to give the solution. Always ask. I'm telling you this helps a lot. When the other person just tells you just listen to me, just listen. Don't try to give any solutions. Don't try to give any advices or nothing. Just listen to them.
So I would just like to add that when you're talking to a male person,
Yeah.
you can talk, in a very informal way at times, and that also happens in most of the corporates. But when you're talking to a female, you have to be a bit more formal, show a bit more respect.
Dr. Sanjay, so when
Yeah.
I say communication,
Mhm.
I am talking about everyone here, our
Yeah.
brother, sister, family.
Mhm.
Corporate is just one part of the communication. So
Mhm.
our communication is not for the office. Our communication
Mhm.
is for our day-to-day life, in our family
Mhm.
also. So
Mhm.
I'll give you one example. So there are two mothers. एक जो गांव की मदर है और एक जो शहर की जो मदर है. गांव की मदर हमारे कैसे उठाती हैं? कुत्ते उठ जा, wake up, yeah, they will put water on us or something like that. But in cities, what they do is they'll put hand on our head. They'll say, "Keep wake up. We have to go to office and all." In both the scenarios, they love their kid. Is there just only way of communication or the expression which matters? So having feelings is one thing, but to put it in a right perspective and right manner is actually communication.
That is
That's what
gestural
communication is.
communication,
Pardon?
with touching the head and all in the morning. But like what you said, that is gestural communication actually.
Yeah, my point is ki
Love.
it's just a feeling of both the mothers are same. Similarly, okay, how many of us has holded the hand of our parent last time? Anyone? Just doing nothing, just hold their hand and just sit like this. You say 2000 times, I love you, dad, I love you, mom, morning, evening. You just hold their hand for 10 minutes without any reason one fine day. I'm telling you, that is much better than 1000 I love you. Communication को सामने वाला कम्युनिकेशन को कैसे समझता है वो भी एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है. I'll give you example. For example, love. So or ye young generation, maybe young generation, actually everyone can understand this now. So sometimes what happens is every person has a different way of expressing or receiving love. For example, there are people who express their love with the gifts. So they need gifts. And when I say gifts, it need not to be diamond and all, maybe small things, pen or ki main travel when I went for this thing vacation, I got something for you and all. But if you don't give gift to them, but every day you tell them, okay, I love you, you cook food for them, you do anything for them, still they will feel that this person doesn't love me. Why? Because we are not expressing our love in the way the other person understands that. So sometimes if we have to understand that also ki how other person is receiving our communication, and we have to communicate in that way, communicate in that particular manner. And the for the HR especially, when so once I did that was a lesson for me. So I was in Calcutta, I was posted in Calcutta, and I came from field. So when I came from field, so I was expecting that I will get a good house because I was 3 years without electricity, without water, without anything actually. So I thought I'll get a good place in Calcutta, I'll get a good bungalow and all. So when I went to Calcutta, I got a very one small room, and that too sometime I have to shift that room, and there was no window in that room. So in the mess meeting, the army commander, he is the chief of the entire northeast this thing. So he said, ki, okay, we have converted this mess into this. We have made so many houses and all. So I raised my hand and I directly said, ki, sir, I don't know. You have done so many things, but my room has still no window in my room. Matlab. So everyone was looked at me because I was youngster. So they said, ki, okay, theek hai, he's a youngster. But later on, my senior called me and he taught me a very good lesson in communication. He told me never start with a negative thing. Always start with a positive note. Ki, sir, yes, you have done a lot for the cantonment. Earlier, this was not there. You have made this and that. But there is one point. Ki, my room doesn't have any window. Can you do about it? So same thing. I can express in a much better way. So always start with the positive note. When HR people they fire people, they don't just directly fire them. No, yeah. What's your experience?
Give them warnings, many warnings, and even after giving warnings, if they are there, then last option we have is to fire them or terminate them.
Yeah, but you always start with positive. Ki, see, we have tried
Yes,
well.
yes, yes. So yes, so initially the warning emails will go.
Ma'am, I would like to be a bit more different over here because
Yes, sir.
whenever you try to remove a person, there is a set procedure as per law which one should follow. But I have seen in most of the corporates, even I have seen in institutes and private universities where one fine day a mail comes that your services are no longer required.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that is also
That
true
is the
actually.
communication. Yes.
Yes, you know that they do it due to some misbehavior conduct issues.
But
But
that
if it is
in
usually
case,
due to
ma'am, in case a person is removed due to misconduct or
yes,
misbehavior, whatever, at least an opportunity of hearing should be given to that person.
yes, correct. But nowadays, big corporates they don't do that.
They don't do this.
Yes,
Just put a mail across. And
correct.
most of the
Yes,
people, they really leave the organization and go away. But if you want, you can take the company to task and file a writ petition for that.
So, in this, can I speak to Dr. Rekha or is she there? Rekha, can you hear me? No. Ashish, Subhash, Priya, Hitesh, anyone?
Yeah, Priya is unmuted.
Yeah.
Priya, please.
Yeah, Priya.
Yes,
So, Priya, tell me, so generally you guys have some discussion in your friend circle on any topic.
yes, sir, we do have
So, what was the last topic you discussed?
about our college,
About what?
about the infrastructure that it is improving.
Okay, but okay, and about any political debate or anything?
What?
Any political debates or any other topics about any other thing?
Political debates? No, sir. We don't much
Okay.
about politics.
And anything else where there are two people, one is opposing you and one is you.
Yes, sometimes it happens.
So what was the topic?
I'll have to about it.
Pardon?
I will have to think about it because
And it can be any topic. So my point here is what I want to say is when we discuss things, we don't discuss to learn things. We discuss to brainwash other person, to tell the other person, see, I am right. You really don't know anything. Let me open your eyes because you are nothing. You don't know anything. So once people,
one of my friend is like that.
yeah. But you know what happens is we all are like this. Only the difference is some are subtle, some are verbose about it. That's it. Pardon? Hello? Achha, Nataraj, you were saying something?
No, I think by mistake is.
Okay. So we are all like this. So once we talk on anything, and mark my word, this is not about politics, and it is we see it in day to day in our life also. It can be about anything. We want to change other person's perspective. But question is, can other person change our perspective? No, never. So why we try to do it? We all, whenever we do into all these discussions, always go there to learn and to change. When I say change, we are so rigid about our thought processes that we don't want to grow. For example, I'll just give you one political example. Say I'm a Modi hater, for example. If the other person gives me 20 reasons not to hate him, and I'm accepting ki, yeah, what facts you are giving is right, but still I am against him. So it means I'm ziddi now. Because I cannot, how can I change my thought process? How can I accept that I was wrong from last so many years? Basic human nature doesn't let us to feel that I'm wrong. I was wrong. No. How can I be wrong? I'm always right. So rather than growing, accepting thing, I'll be still like this. This is not growing. This is not growing. This is not a good way of accepting things. And when you don't accept things, you remain like this only. You will never change. To change, change is a very tedious process. You have to kill your ego. When I say what we think, what we are, it's not easy. कि मैं आज आपको बोलूं और आप अचानक से पॉजिटिव सोचने लगे, नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है. It's a very tedious process. You have to come out of your comfort zone. It is a very slow process. It doesn't do happens in one day. So next time when you have a discussions with others, do it with open mind at that level where you are ready to accept the reality also or the other facts also, just not to change other. So how many people believe here that so now we were talking about I'll give you two examples that our thought process makes us, not the our environment, our upbringing and all. How many people believe in that, or how many people doesn't believe it? You understood the question? So how many people believe that what we are is because of our environment, our upbringing and all? How many people believes that?
Obviously, sir, it is, you are correct, sir. Whatever we are products of our upbringing, you know.
So, Dr. Sanjay, here I don't believe that. So why? I'll tell you. I'll give you two examples here. So there were two brothers, Judwa, Siamese twins. Their environment, everything was same. Upbringing, they stayed in same house, same school, everything was same. One was very good, one was very bad. So the guy came and he asked the bad one, why you're so bad? So he said, ki, my father, he used to drink a lot. And when he comes to home, he used to hit my mom.
Sir, I stop
Yeah,
here.
please.
Is a book of You Can Win, I think, Shiv Khera.
Okay. Acha, this is there?
Yes, sir. In Shiv
Because
Khera, that was the real story.
okay, I read it in Osho.
You Can Win. That's a book, amazing
Okay.
book.
I know. I read it in the Osho book.
Right, sir. Right.
So he said, ki, why you are bad? He said, ki, I have seen this throughout my life. That's why I'm bad. But when they asked ki, why you are good, he said, ki, when I saw my dad hitting my mom, I thought I will never be like this. So it is not the environment. It is our thought process. Again, our thought process. I'll give you my example. I belong to a very small town of Haryana. All of my friends are in that town only today. They never believed in themselves. In fact, they used to laugh at me. Our school was same, our financial background was same, everything was same. But I said, no, I have to go out. I have to go out, and I'm out now. So our upbringing can facilitate or make life difficult or easy for us to achieve that goal, but it will never restrict it. You will find all the IAS, IPS officers or the top-notch people, they are all from very humble backgrounds, very small towns. No one has stopped them, only their faith in them. So our faith, again, thought. So I just remember a very famous experiment in that. So there was an experiment on rats. Have anyone heard of that? So they put rat in the water. So after 15 minutes, the first rat, he drowned. So after that, what they did is, after 5 minutes, they gave something, they took the rat out of water and again put it in the water. After 20 minutes, again they took out the rat out of that. For next time when they did this, how many time passed between that? When they took out the rat out of the water after 20 minutes? Yeah, Priya, roughly how much time the rat was in water at that time? Initially he drowned in 15 minutes only, but this time, how much time he was in water?
Half an hour.
56 hours. That rat has this faith, if someone will come and take me out of water. So he paddled. So that is the power of hope, power of thought. And always understand one thing, when we go to, say, temples or something, we feel ki what we got, or when we are with loved one, we don't get every time, we don't get everything, but sometimes we lose our anxiety, sometimes we lose our depression, sometimes we lose our negative things. Sometimes gaining is not important, losing also important. And nowadays I'm seeing everywhere we use this word mental health. I think in any corporate job, any session, it is always about mental health, isn't it? After 10 years back, we have not even heard of this word. Why? Because they have made it a business. It's a fear psychosis. Every day, everyone feels sad, everyone falls in love, everyone feel hurt. It doesn't mean that we are depressed. Depression word, आज मैंने 7th class के बच्चे को depression word use करते हुए सुना है. Seriously? No, because we are making it a norm of our life. Stress was never a part of our life.
Sir, can I intervene?
Yeah,
Sir,
I'll just finish one line. I'll just say one line.
Yeah, please, sir.
In nature, body pain is natural, but mental pain or suffering is not natural. It is created by us. Say, for example, when we say we love, when we lose our parents, so we feel bad. again, it is not by the nature, because those who are evolved, they will say it is a part of life. It's okay. Log aate rehte hain, log jate rehte hain. It's okay. It's part of life. Some take it in some feel sad, so they overcome by 6 months. But some, I have seen people. One of my friend, her mother passed away 15 years back. She's still in that shock. Nature doesn't want us. Human suffering, mind is created by ourselves. Physical pain is created by the nature. So when we talk about a thing, it becomes part of our life. If every day you talk about stress, it become part of our life. If there was an experiment, so a guy was while sleeping, they used to play a video where it used to say, "I want to suicide, I want to suicide, I want to suicide." After a few days, that guy actually wanted to do suicide. So saying things again and again, negative things in all around us, it actually impacts us. That's why one should never talk about negative things in life, whatever may happen. Sometimes we joke around, say negative things to people in joke. Again, for us, it's a joke. For other person, it is never a joke. That person takes it very seriously. So never say negative things to others, even in joke also, because for other person, it's a reality, and that person start living that thing.
Can I intervene now?
Please, Dr. Sanjay.
Yeah, so actually, what you're talking about is stress and all. That is because of the change in the lifestyle. 24 into 7 connectivity, the excessive use of mobile phones, right? I just remember after COVID, you would also know about it. There are the youngsters had a lot of thing like depression, anxiety, and all these kind of problems started with the youngsters, even with other middle-aged people also. And there was a very important famous thing which came, a video came, where a doctor, a psychiatrist kind of a person, he says that students, that the people are suffering, after the COVID. The young generation, of course, the middle age people also, but the young generation, they are suffering from anxiety and depression, and they're speaking to themselves, right? Probably. And then he said that if you're speaking to yourself, or you're speaking to the wall, or you're speaking to the mirror, do not come to me. The doctor was in the video, he said, you come to
Okay.
me when what you call it, the wall or that thing starts speaking back, then you come to me. That means don't come to me.
Yeah. I heard that. Yeah.
So it is basically the lifestyle which we have actually.
So my what point I want to convey here is, it's not that it was not, it was always there, but that time it was at a much lesser level. So what is happening is, now we have made everything important in life. Always remember,
Sorry
in our
to
hello,
sorry to interrupt.
pardon, hello.
I think so. Someone by mistake unmuted. Nothing else.
Okay. So my point here is, it's not to make it to underestimate that, but my point is, don't talk about negative things in life. And I'll give you this exercise tomorrow. Try to not to say a single negative word, and pay 100 rupees to your kid or your sister or brother. Whenever you use this word, you will realize that it has become a part of our life. We don't even understand that it becomes a part of our life. Okay. So Priya, do you have any friend, whenever you talk to him or her, they always talk about negative, and you say कि यार बस कर यार, हो गया, कितना करेगा? Have you a friend like this?
Yes, sir, I have.
We all have friend like this. We don't want to talk like this. No one likes to listen to negative things 24 into 7. Once you want to share your heart, it's okay. If you're sad, you can talk to your friend, but you can't do it 24 into 7. Don't make it a norm. We start enjoying that tension पर वो pressure. Sorry, our topic, हम लोग टॉपिक भटक के अब दोबारा स्ट्रेस पे आ गए बेसिकली. सो माय पॉइंट इज, this is important. What you think here, you become like that. Slowly you have say 100 thoughts. Whichever thought is prominent becomes your personality. Always remember this. In army, they never tell us to hate Pakistan, to do this, to do that, to love flag. No one teaches us anything. Slowly we know the importance of that, and that becomes the prominent trait of our personality. So for example, for me or of Kapil, we can die for flag, but for many it's a cloth. ठीक है ना यार, कपड़ा ही तो है, how does it matter? So that's how thought process makes us different. We all are different. Why? Because of our thought process. Now you have to decide what kind of person you want. From this topic, you can find faults. His grammar was not good. His body language was not great. He was not looking into the eyes. You can find 100 faults. Or you can take one or two good things from this topic and do practical. Do it also. When you try to do it, it will be difficult initially. For example, thinking positive is not a easy thing. You please try it for next 7 days. Please try to only talk and think positive. And after 7 days, if you achieve that, mark my words, you will be a different personality. Dr. Sanjay, I am also from the same generation, phone and everything is there. But still, one thing we human have then different than others is we have a consciousness. We choose, we can choose. Even in this chaos, we can choose. I choose to think positive. You will not find me talking negative things. Even when my dad tries to talk to me about negative things, I told him, please don't talk to me like that. Outrightly tell people, don't talk negative to me.
Sir, can I intervene?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, you have rightly said that you belong to this generation or whatever, right?
No, no, no. I'm not this
Or a bit
generation.
earlier generation. But let me tell you one thing. Today's generation, what we see, have not faced a lot of hardships actually. They have got
That's
everything
true.
made actually.
That's true. That's true.
Their fathers or forefathers would have worked hard, but nowadays most of the young generation, they've got everything, you know.
But Dr. Sanjay, this is not this generation. See, I'll tell you one thing.
Yes.
There are issues with generation. I understand, but we cannot blame everything on the generation. So once my seniors said the same thing, in our times we used to do this. In our times we used to do that. This new youngsters, they don't listen to us and all. Then I told him, Mega sir, in your time when you were a lieutenant, you were not even allowed to open your mouth in front of the CEO. But in our time, as a lieutenant, I was a bloody company commander. You got 5 years as a grooming. Me, the moment I came from academy, I was on a post handling 120 men and their life, though I was not experienced. So please don't say that youngsters doesn't do anything. So yes, youngs, we cannot say that the new generation is bad. Yes, they have their fair share of these things because of the social environment which is created by us only, no one else. It is we who created this environment for them. They have not created this environment for themselves. We have not. They have not bought the phone. It is we who gave the phone to our kid because मुझे मेरा टीवी देखना है, मुझे शांति चाहिए, तो बेटा पकड़ फोन और चला जा. No one has given them phone. उन्होंने पैसे चोरी करके नहीं खरीदा है, हमने उनको फोन दिया.
Exactly.
Blame lies with us.
Yes,
So
sir. So it is like I would say that it is this generation or Gen Z or whatever we call it. It is not hard work; it is smart working which they are doing actually. The young generation is very smart because I remember
yeah,
going to a few schools. I've got some consultancy work. I go to schools and all, and I've met a principal, and there was a small kid, um, in school uniform. He was sitting in the sofa, relaxing, and he was seeing various movies, reels, and all. A
yeah.
small kid, would be about in fifth, sixth class, and he was looking at the reels and all. And I was very surprised because he was sitting in the principal's room, and then the principal told he is my grandson, and he
So
is so comfortable looking at the reels and all. The young
because
generation.
what you were talking about, Dr. Sanjay, it was that third generation syndrome where the third generation generally perishes because they have not seen life. So first generation always they struggle. Second generation has seen that struggle, but third generation generally in a family they get the silver spoon. So that's why they generally perish. That is the third generation syndrome. So I think it's a lot of time. So should we conclude or we can continue? I don't know what is the norm or
It
what is
has
the
been a
real thing.
really informative session, and it was lovely interacting with you, sir.
So I'll finish with two things. There are actually I wanted to say so many things. Frankly speaking, it's my fault. I was not ready, but I want to conclude with two things. One, especially, and it is for everyone: never play victim card in your life. Never ever. Because I'm a female, I'm this, I'm that. Never. The moment you play victim card, you put entire onus on the other person, and you says ki okay, I'm a holy cow. I am at no fault at all. Never do that. Never play victim card in anything in your life. No one has put, always remember, no one has put pistol on your head to do anything. It is you. For example, जब पेरेंट्स कहते हैं कि शादी कर लो, मेरे पेरेंट्स ने मुझे बोला कि you have to marry this person. Parents also tells you not to drink. Parents also tells you not to go out late. Do you listen to them? No. But in marriage, suddenly, how come you become a good child and suddenly listens to them? No. because deep down inside we wanted to do that because we know we have no one to love. So okay, let's marry only. So we never blame parents also. No one has put pistol on your head. So never play victim card in your life. Number two, as I said, we are what we think. Start thinking about good things in life. Start thinking. For example, when our kids have gone on a say trip, there are two ways to look at it. They have not called us. Their bus. I hope they are all right. I hope their bus is not into the high, or they must be enjoying. Let them enjoy. They will call us later. Always think positive, positive, positive. It's not an easy thing. I'm telling you, it's not an easy thing because we are surrounded by the negative thing, but you just practice it and mark my word, this same life will be so beautiful. You want to live further for more and more and more, and people want to talk to you. They want to be around you, because once you think positive, talk positive, you give an aura. People love to be around you. No one likes to people who crib, who talks negative things. They always like people who smiles. Always smile. You don't have to pay. If people ask you why you're smiling, I just love to smile. You don't have to give reason to them. Change yourself. Change yourself. You can take this one thing from here, that think positive, think positive, think positive. You will be that person what you want to be. No one else can make you that person. As simple as that. I'm done.
Wow, what a wonderful knowledge you have given to us, sir. Thank you so much. I hope our audience has learned many new things from this session. So I would like to highlight some of the points that you have said during the webinar, such as the power of our thoughts. What we hear, read, and listen to is important. Thinking and talking positively, the importance of non-verbal communication, active listening, clarity and simple thoughts, and communication should be simple and clear. Always start with a positive note. The thought process of a person shapes a person, and we should never play the victim card.
Good one.
So here
So you're
are a few
listening.
questions. Yes, sir. So here are a few questions that our audience wants answered. So shall we proceed with the
So
permission?
I'll just to say two things. I want to thank everyone. Actually, it was an interactive session. And one example I want to give from Army, how in communication you should always ask. So one of our officers, he told his Gorkha guys. So Gorkha guys are very simple people. They are the simplest of the creature on earth. So he told him कि मेरे कपड़ों पे धूप लगा देना. So when he came in the afternoon, so he was saying so that his chap, he was having that agarbatti and he was doing in front of that warm clothes. So, so people can be that simple also. So always understand to whom you are talking to and always check back. Yeah, please.
Right, so sir, the question is, what does active listening role play in harnessing the power of thoughts during interpersonal communication? So basically, importance of active listening in during interpersonal communication.
See, I will not give you any theory. It's very simple. Everyone wants to be listened. Everyone wants someone should listen to them and understand. Generally, we listen to people, and we sometimes we don't understand them also. Sometimes we also think someone should be there who can listen to us. So once we are listening to someone, just listen to that person. Try to be in that person's shoe also. That is more important. Don't be judgmental at all. Don't judge anyone. Even they have killed someone, don't judge. Law will give them punishment. That's a separate thing. You are no one to judge them. Don't judge them. Just listen to them and be empathetic towards them, and ask them open questions. Okay, how you're feeling about it, what you're going to do about it, rather than giving your inputs, your thoughts. You should do this, you should do that. Don't do that. That person doesn't need that. Just ask that person only, okay, how you feel about it, what do you want to do about it. Just be, and they should feel कि, okay, you are listening from your heart, not as a duty or not as a majburi कि, okay, मैं senior हूँ या junior. You should genuinely feel, and this is not a thing which comes easily. See, it's easy to say active listening, but can you actually listen to others actively? Are you that empath? Can you listen to them from your heart? If yes, just listen to them. That's it. They don't need anything from you. They don't need anything. Just be with there, and don't play with your phones. Active listening doesn't mean okay, yeah, and using your phone also. No, sometimes we put the phone also like this on the side. You're not doing ihsan on that person. If you are listening to that person, please give your 100% or say I don't have time. If you're in a hurry, never do that. Always take time and listen to the person. I hope I answered it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for answering the question, sir. That was a very good piece of advice given to us. So
don't make everything important in your life, and always think of worse. क्या होगा? End of the day we all die. End of the day we all die. What will happen? You will not have Ferrari, you will have a Maruti 800. If you don't have Maruti 800, you will have government bus. If you don't have house, there are ashrams in Rishikesh. There is no end to those things. Your family and your near and dear ones are the most important person. We don't do things for them. Always remember, you think I earn for my kids. Sorry, you don't earn for your kids. You earn for that status. Okay, my kid studies in so and so school. Your kid doesn't want to study in that school. Oh, my kids wear 5,000 kgs. Their kid doesn't want a 5,000 kgs. Just give more time to them. This is one life. You are not going to get it again. Pursue your passions. Job is important, no doubt, but it is not everything. It is just one part of your life. Keep it just one part of. Think of worse things can happen to you, and you will be always be happy. Yeah. Now smile.
So that was the best advice which we could have given, the best piece of communication.
Thank you, doctor.
So again, thank you all for attending today's webinar. And if you have any additional questions, you can contact us by email or telephone. We're happy to provide additional support for you. Please follow us on our social media handles and subscribe to our YouTube channel for new learning.